Grave, 20 years ago, if you were practising down in Graves, what would have been the opportunities, so to speak, in the courts, and what would have been the frustrations?
Well, in those days I would be coming here to do a mixture of work. I mean, one was criminal work in the Magistrates' Court, some of which would go on to the Crown Court at Chelmsford afterwards, or to Southend. That was mainly what I would call sort of rather routine crime, from shoplifting to burglary to antisocial behaviour. Those things existed then, although some of those things have got worse and not better since. And then I would also have been doing county court work, which was mainly family orientated. So when we're talking about the problems of a broken society, I think I've seen plenty of that in terms of the consequences of divorce and family breakdown, and lots of contact cases involving children I would have been doing here in those days. Very familiar with all that. So coming back here to support Jackie, I mean, I'm very conscious of, from my past experience, about what some of the problems are that local residents are going to be concerned about. And indeed, just canvassing this street this afternoon, you pick up some of those themes. I mean, anxieties about crime, people who've had their sheds broken into, and people who want to live in a good environment and sometimes find that that's quite difficult because other people don't respect that environment. And this makes huge differences to people's quality of life. Most people want to work with neighbours to achieve common goals, and if they're facilitated to do that by the state, then I think they feel much happier, they feel much more empowered. And one of the big themes of the last 13 years, it seems to me, is that people feel disempowered. They have a sense that the state is, passes lots of regulations, it passes lots of criminal justice bills. We've got 4,200 more criminal crimes on the statute book than we had in 1997. But do these people feel safer or better as a result of that? And I think the answer is they don't. And the reason is that actually Labour's been missing the plot. For me, the issue is, how do you work with local communities to help them to start reducing crime with the help of the police? How do you put in place the support structures for society, which means that people can start to work together to achieve goals together? And that, I think, is the secret of good government. And the problem we've had, to my mind, over the last few years, is the government's been trying to do everything, and in the process it's been just frustrating people from doing the things that they know would work for them.
Do you think the law and order agenda has been pushed enough in this election? Because even just say 18 months ago, the two dirty words in a police station were Jackie Smith.
Well, I think the law and order debate is there, clearly, because of the economic situation. That has dominated quite a lot of the issues. But bear in mind that some of the underlying issues, I think the public already know very well the extent to which the Conservatives are different from the government. For example, wanting to change the law on householders to give them greater rights against burglars breaking into their homes. Wanting to make sure that the active citizen who goes out on the street to stop children who are fighting each other, that actually if the police turn up, they will be supportive of the person for doing that and don't end up getting taken down to the police station and accused of having touched one of the kids as they try to separate them. People want that sense that the state's on their side, and my experience is at the moment they don't feel they're getting it. So I think this is quite a big theme at the election. I've certainly been going around talking about it, because I happen to think that we've got some sensible policies, not miracle solutions, but common sense policies that will help residents in this constituency in Thurrock to have a better future. And that's what we want to try to persuade the public about, and if we are elected, we will get on to the process of implementing those. Things aren't going to change overnight, but I'm absolutely convinced that if we can get elected, then we will be able, over a period of a parliament, to make a real change to people's quality of life in this area.
And finally, it would have helped Jackie a great deal that on Saturday she got David Cameron down here, and it seems to be a real push now from the Tories that you really think Thurrock with Jackie Doyle-Price is winnable.
We certainly think that Thurrock with Jackie is winnable. We're convinced of it. That's why we're putting in the effort. This is precisely the sort of area which, if we want to be a national party, we should be representing. We think the local people are likely to be very much in tune with what the Conservative Party is offering. The party has tried to widen its appeal very much over the last 4 or 5 years. And we're determined to succeed in areas like this. We don't just want to be confined to sort of leafier bits of Essex. We want to be able to represent people everywhere. And a seat like Thurrock is therefore a key one for us, because we think there's a better future for people here if they can have a Conservative government.